What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Ango, and in this video we're going to be discussing some big news. WWE 2K23, WWE has decided to pass on signing a former AEW wrestler, and yes, we are going to talk about more returns coming to the WWE because Triple H is not playing around. Very interesting stuff, guys. We're going to talk about it in this video. I want to kick things off with WWE 2K23. The official cover art has been revealed. John Cena is in fact the cover star, but now we also have the first look at the deluxe edition and the icon edition. I really love this cover art. Personally speaking, I think 2K has done a phenomenal job with all of the covers that they've done for their sports games. But I think this year WWE 2K23 takes the cake. John Cena's basic of Thuganomics and obviously the classic John Cena Spinner Championship belt. I just think they look absolutely unreal. So incredibly looking. And guys, here's the good news. The reason why I'm bringing it up here is because I will be producing WWE 2K23 content and AEW Fight Forever content on my second channel, which is called More Ango. If you haven't clicked subscribe to that channel, the link will be in the description down below. I created tons of content last year, and I really just want to get familiar with creating gaming content and editing content and stuff like that. Now I pretty much have a plan in motion, giving you guys information, short form content, and most importantly, live gaming content. It's something that we've talked about a lot on this channel, but I want to be able to do live gaming content. This channel's for wrestling news, rumors, and analysis, so we're not going to do that on this channel. Guys, if you're not subscribed to the second channel, go ahead and do so. I really like WWE 2K23's reveal. The trailer was sick. We know that Bad Bunny's a pre-order bonus. We know that John Cena and Theory is in the trailer. Logan Paul and John Cena is in the trailer. So what that tells me is that there's a lot of good things to expect when it comes to this roster reveal. I think Bad Bunny was kind of predicted for a while, but nobody necessarily knew. Also, there's a ton of big news in regards to Universe Mode and Creation Suite and all of these different things. Guys, I'm going to talk about that on my second channel, but all in all, I think this reveal was absolutely sick. I'm super excited about it, and I can't wait to see what happens next. Now, with that being said, it's time to turn to our next topic. We're talking about Kylie Rae. She just recently revealed in an interview that she had a really good experience with WWE, but right now, she has not signed with the WWE, and it's kind of like this whole situation where the timing isn't right for WWE. She confirmed that WWE said that at this time, they're not going to be moving forward with the deal, which is totally okay. She's in good spirits about it all. She feels like if it's meant to be, it will happen. But the good news here is that the door is not necessarily closed. And honestly, I think that makes a lot of sense for WWE. They have been signing a lot of people, bringing in a lot of people, trying to get those rosters adjusted. I think WWE NXT is where Kylie Rae should go first. And I think right now with their women's division, it just doesn't necessarily make sense to bring her in. This way, Kylie Rae will have the freedom to keep doing her indie shows, keep working at her craft. And then when WWE is ready, they can make that decision to bring her in. It didn't sound like there was any bad things that came out of her tryout. Obviously, a lot of people on the internet enjoyed her debut at WWE's main event. But for right now, it's not happening. And, you know, WWE making a decision to pass on Kylie Rae is a little bit shocking to me because I feel like she would be a really big star for them. Honestly, I think she's going to be a big mover for merchandise. I think she's going to generate a very good response with the audience. I think her wrestling's on par with what WWE would be looking for. I think NXT could definitely utilize her. But at the same time, too, NXT is kind of in a funky situation with their women's division. They have a stacked women's division. There's a lot of people getting pushed right now. Kylie Rae going into WWE is not necessarily going to work at this time because there are so many people ahead of her. But with that being said, I do look forward to the day that WWE does eventually sign her. I'm curious to see whatever happens, you know, going forward because Kylie Rae used to be in AEW. She used to be in Impact Wrestling. We all know her history of having to take a break from wrestling and pretty much retiring and then coming back. And I don't fault her for that. I feel like health always comes first. That was the case with Kylie Rae. But now that WWE had interest in Kylie Rae and they're not necessarily closing the door on Kylie Rae, I'm now curious to see if maybe Tony Khan and AEW decide to bring her back. It's a very interesting situation considering the way that she left AEW, and there's been a ton of question marks surrounding that. But ultimately, if I'm Tony Khan, do I want Kylie Rae to go to WWE at some point? And that is a question that I definitely have to ask myself. Now, if I was Tony Khan, or if I was Triple H, I would in fact sign Kylie Rae. She's a hell of a talent. She's going to do really good on television. We know that fans will get behind her. We've seen it before, especially with the internet wrestling community. And for those in the casual audience that everybody loves to talk about. Does it necessarily matter if they know who Kylie Ray is right now? No. But we do know that she could be a really big babyface for either company, and whenever they're ready to do so, they will do so. Guys, very interesting news. Tons of returns are being discussed, but these two have definitely intrigued me the most. AOP potentially back in WWE. According to Fightful Select, they have reported that there have been discussions about AOP coming back to the company, but also with Paul Ellering. If you guys remember that whole situation, Paul Ellering was with them in NXT. Then they moved to the main roster without Paul Ellering. That was a big letdown. They did some great stuff with WWE. Obviously, they did some really cool stuff with Seth Rollins and the Monday Night Messiah gimmick. And then obviously Buddy Murphy was there. Now Triple H and WWE are discussing internally about bringing them back. Typically in a situation like this, I would say go ahead and assume that they will be back in WWE, despite the fact that they haven't technically signed or it hasn't been announced that they've been signed. WWE is trying to bolster that tag team division, and I think it is fair to assume that when WWE is reportedly interested in bringing somebody back, they typically do. That's been the case for almost all of the returns in the last several months. Bronson Reed, Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt, Chelsea Green, which she hasn't technically returned to the company on TV, but we know she's signed back with WWE. I think based on the previous trend of people being teased for returns or being discussed for returns, they've all pretty much come back to the company. Now, with WWE trying to bolster that tag team division, I actually think it makes a lot of sense for WWE to bring back AOP. But yeah, I think you have to bring them back with Paul Ellering. I think that's incredibly important. One thing that you guys got to keep in mind, AOP left the WWE. I interviewed them on this channel. Great interview, great discussions, great talks. There's a lot of stuff that they were trying to do after WWE. I asked them about New Japan and AEW because there was rumored interest, and we all know how that went down. So with AOP possibly coming back to WWE, it might be the thing that makes the most sense for them, but also at the same time too, I think it makes a lot of sense for WWE as well, and people can't forget that. They tried having their own indie wrestling show. That wasn't able to work out. There was a lot of things that happened in the last, year and a half or so that didn't necessarily transpire. And, these guys are talented. And they are talented. And whether you want to admit this or not, WWE having big, dominant tag teams always makes sense. And if you're worried about the mouthpiece portion of it, which, by the way, I thought it was really cool when Akam and Razar were speaking Albanian and the Punjabi language. But, when they were speaking in their languages, it was really cool because it was a different change to what we normally get. Now we can see them with Paul Ellering, who could be their mouthpiece. All of this stuff makes a lot of sense. I'm super excited to see what happens. I want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching.